saying that the student protests during school hours have to stop.
He's given directives to the Texas Education Agency calling for penalties for students who take part and any school staff that helps them.
Katira Winfrey asked the governor a few questions during his stop here in Houston. So Katira, she joined us now live. What did the governor have to say?
Well, first off, Ron and Sherman, the governor did make a stop here this afternoon to talk about job growth and creation, but he did answer some questions about those student walkouts, saying these types of protests are not protected speech, but advocates would argue otherwise.
Growing concerns around ICE activity are driving student-led walkout protests statewide. From Conroe to Missouri City, students are joining together, and Governor Greg Abbott says that's enough of that.
No more protests during school. It's time to return to what their core responsibility is, and that's to educate our kids.
The protests have ranged in size, some happening on school grounds, others moving off campus. The governor is now issuing new directives to the Texas Education Agency on how to handle absences and walkouts, urging penalties for students and staff.
Each person has to make their decision and also weigh out their, what their consequences are going to be.
The advocacy group.
It's crazy that this adult male who's already went through school and finished school is advocating for kids to literally ditch school and expel themselves. The reason I say this has to lead to expulsion is because you cannot just ditch school for any arbitrary reason and claim free speech. If you have a job somewhere that you're working, you can't just leave your job and protest and think that you're not going to be fired because you're not performing at work. You can't just use free speech for everything, and you can't abuse that constitutional protection. Also, we're only in year 1 of 4 years. What's the game plan? How are you going to let kids who need to be told what to do, who don't make their own decisions, how are you going to let them decide what days they will and will not attend school? If they're protesting ICE and ICE is a part of law enforcement is never going anywhere in a civilized nation. So you're going to just basically walk out of school for the next 3 years and expect to graduate? It's pointless. How are you going to say, well, I'm not going to protest on the weekend. I'm only going to protest Monday through Friday, but on Saturday, those are my off days? No, Saturday and Sunday is when you can go protest if you need to, but it's a pointless protest. The policies are not going to change. The laws are going to be the same. I don't care if you're a kid and your parents are illegal, but their parents don't even care about them going to school. Now, I don't think schools are really useful anymore, not public schools. The only thing these kids learn about now is gender ideology, sex, and how to make bad decisions. Most of them cannot read. They can't count. They can't even tell you the capital of their state. But you're supposed to believe that they're being educated. They're not. They're learning how to be activists. They're creating a brand new base of people who are going to be loyal to the Democrats. That's why they have to confuse your kids with their sexuality, because there's no way you're going to be straight and a liberal, just like you're not going to be a gay conservative. Those kind of go against the grain. So they're creating they're convincing your kid that they're gay, and they're talking to them about gender ideology and confusing them, but they're turning them into a permanent voter base. That's why they don't need your kid to go to school. Usually the people who are not very educated, not very smart, who do the worst, they tend to vote Democrat because they rely so heavily on government assistance. They require the system to survive. They also blame the system for why they are mentally inept. In these situations, these kids are now they're not going to be as versatile or prepared for the real world. They can only be activists. You see a lot of Hispanic kids right now. I'm Latino. When we were growing up, the black kids would want to leave school and protest all the time. Historically, when they grew up, they were not really able to function in society. That's why you see so many black people having so many issues when it comes to just living a regular life in the United States. They have a lot of problems. And only them. Even us immigrants don't have that many problems. Yeah, we break the law when we come here, some of us. The rest of us, we pay the fees, we go through the classes, we earn citizenship. A lot of them have cut the line. They're being deported. Great. Even as a Hispanic man myself, I applaud what ICE is doing. I don't want where I'm living now to turn into the country we left. All of us feel the same way. There's lawlessness and communism in the countries we fled. We don't want to see that here in the United States. We're not seeing we're now seeing that everyone's not on the same page. These people don't care if these kids are in school or not. What are you going to do for the next 3 years? Every day for the next 3 years, you're going to be walking out of school? Then what's the point of going? Expel them all. School has to be for the kids who want to be there. If you were I remember back when I was in school, if you were truant for more than 3 days, you're kicked out of school. And then them law enforcement will show up to your house and ask your parents why you're not going to school. Your parents will be held accountable. If these kids want to wave Mexican flags and not show up to school, then they should not be allowed to return. You can't just pick and choose as a kid what days you are going to go to school and what days you're going to just walk out. I swear I remember, bro, if the wind blowed the wrong way when I was a senior, I'm ditching school. I just didn't care. But these are kids now doing this in 9th grade, 10th grade. I'm sorry, you can't do that. Now, for the last 2 months of school, when when you're about to graduate, you might ditch or whatever. Because what are you going to do? Like, tell me I can't graduate? You can't start doing that in 9th, 10th, 11th grade. You have to be there for a reason. So it seems like they're finding another excuse not to enforce these laws. Why? Now, these walkouts are happening all over the country pointlessly because law enforcement is not going anywhere. Why is Greg Abbott the only one talking out about it? See, that's what I hate. It's like the republic has fallen apart. There's 50 states, but there's only one Greg Abbott. There's only one Ron DeSantis. And it seems like everyone else is literally just helping let the country go. Getting rid of our laws, getting rid of our rules, getting rid of our borders, telling us we shouldn't enforce certain laws. Well, you can enforce them against Americans, but not the illegals, not the migrants. You can't enforce laws against them, but everybody else is fair game. We don't have a system anymore. First things first, the kids cannot just choose when they will and will not obey the rules. That is a bad precedent to set. And again, if your parents aren't making sure you're in school, then your parents should be held liable. But first things first, you have to be kicked out of school. You're wasting the school's time, and the school is getting funding for kids that are not there. You have to expel these kids. They don't want to be there. Because what, you're going to walk out of school Monday through Friday for what, the next 3 years? ICE isn't going anywhere. So what, let me guess, 6 months from now, you're going to just give up and decide you want to go back to class. Now you just lost 6 months. Now, the way teachers work, as far as I know, there's a curriculum. And there are certain milestones you have to meet every month because you have to progress throughout the year. There's no way a teacher is going to be able to progress and actually keep their class together if students have 3 to 6 month gaps in attendance. There's no way that can happen. Well, I'm going to go to school Thursday, but just not Monday through Friday because of ICE. If your parents are here illegal, get the fuck out. Go with your parents. Yeah, you think you're an American citizen. You're not. You're a tether. You're an anchor baby. And that's just the facts. That's it. There is no sugarcoating it. I could not go to their country, be born, and think I can just go over there and have full citizenship. Citizenship is a privilege. It's not a right. Nobody owes you anything. And people take that for granted over here. And I'll be so goddamn glad when birthright citizenship is finally abolished over here and it's a thing of the past. Now we can choose who are going to be our citizens based on character. Why would you want the most disgruntled, evil, and hateful people who want to see this country burn? Why would you allow them to continue to be citizens here? Yes, you can criticize the government of a country, but when you're literally praying for its own destruction, you cannot live here anymore. And I don't know which country is going to want to accept people like that. There's no other place in this world that I've lived. I've lived in 7 different countries. I've never been in one country where I could sit there and say how much I hate the country, but I refuse to leave. And they will just let me just say that and leave it alone, where I'm just basically sowing discontent amongst the population. There's no such place. This is happening right here in the United States, and it seems like we're just losing control. Oh, everything, if you're going to school is white supremacy, then why fucking go? Don't go. enforcing laws is white supremacy. So you mean to tell me your home country you came from, they don't have laws there? So that's unique. The only two countries in history that have laws and police where they'll arrest you and they'll kill you if you break the laws is the Nazis in the United States. You're a liar and you're wrong. You're loud and wrong. And this guy right here, older guy, advocating for kids to walk out of school, that's not going to change the laws. We don't want the laws changed. We like the laws as they are. We want to see you leave. You are going to leave. If you don't like our laws, leave. I've never said I'm going to stay in this country, but I don't like the laws. If I don't like the laws, I'm leaving the country. What the hell are you still doing here? Go back to another place and change the laws there. Don't come here and complain. Don't bring that here. These kids have to be exposed. And you know what? And their parents, when they show up to your house to tell your kids exposed, you should have to do a citizenship check too. Your parents should be deported. You should go with them. And then you can wave your Mexican flag and you can live in Mexico. You won't be forced to go to school and you can be happy. Why don't you want to escape fascism? Okay. Then deportation is mercy. Say thank you.
PL says student participation should be applauded.
You need to cause trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble. And I think this is necessary trouble because the government is really troubling a lot of these young folks.
The TEA is now cracking down on districts. Those in violation could face a loss of funding since districts are paid based on student attendance and students will be marked absent.
If kids are skipping class, going out protesting, those schools are not going to be paid for that day.
The state.
Exactly. They should not be paid for the day because the kids were not there for the day. People don't understand how much funding goes into each student per hour. Plus, you have to feed them. Transportation, all that stuff in public school is covered for free. The parents aren't paying for it. So not only are your fucking parents ungrateful because their kids are getting a free education in the United States, but they're also now encouraging you to be disrespectful and basically to promote not even being in the schools in the first place, even though so much tax money is allocated to give your child or to an attempt to give your child what we would consider an education. These not just defunded, you should not be allowed to ditch school for X amount of days and then just walk back on the campus. What are we talking about here? You're going to choose which way you're going to go. You're either going to go to school or you're going to get expelled and you can go somewhere else. And you can go homeschool yourself. Then, if you're homeschooled, you can protest all you want. Or if you're deported, you can protest all you want from another country. If you're out there doing these protests and you're doing these walkouts because your friend has an illegal family member or something, then guess what? The best thing to do is when they're deported, go with them and build up a new life in another country. Don't live here. Period. The government hates people that are basically just terrorists and anti our system. We have laws here. If you don't like them, get the fuck out. Leave.
Governor Abbott says we'll set the parameters to determine what is necessary in identifying and investigating staff who help violate standards in supporting walkouts.
And I bet you 100% of those teachers are the gay teachers that they've hired. Gay teachers that are pushing the gay ideology. They're in class talking about their sexuality and their personal relationships. They're not talking about history. They're not reading them, teaching them English. They're not doing math or curriculum. They're not doing any of that anyway. All these schools are nowadays are glorified daycares. That's why these kids are dumb as ever. And that's why them walking out of class and them being in class, they're literally going to grow mentally at the same rate. Nothing. We're just glorified daycares. That's why they say, they have something called school choice, but nobody's going to choose to want to go to school. These kids don't want to learn, which is why they have no problem walking out. But if you look at the demographic of the kids that are walking out, it's not all the kids. It's not all the kids that don't want to learn because kids of other races, the Asian kids aren't walking out. Indian kids aren't walking out. White kids aren't walking out. But Black and Hispanic kids are walking out. They don't like school. They don't want to learn. And now that you got your parents and the media encouraging them to not learn, well, then they're going to just continue to be dumb as fuck. How do you think we got here? All these kids go to the same schools. They have access to the same internet. Why are some races 90 percentile reading at their grade level and other races 50%? Oh, systematic. Systematic what, idiot? They're all in the same system. It's culture. It's family. What are your parents promoting at home? All kids don't deserve to go to school for free. They just don't. And that's the problem with shit that's free. You don't appreciate it.
Calladito te ves más bonito, which translates to if you're quiet, you look prettier. And there hasn't been a phrase that has been more detrimental to the Latino community.
The governor is applauding districts and the state, saying his directives, it appears, are already being put in action.
The reality, the law of free speech is more complex than that. You don't have freedom of speech to say and act any way you want to, anywhere you want to, anytime you want to.
Exactly.
And the governor says his directives are also about safety. If something were to happen to a student, any legal responsibility would fall back on the district. Reporting live in Houston, Katira Winfrey, KHOU 11 News.
All right, thank you.
And that's absolutely true. If one of these kids get hit by a car while they're out there protesting, or if some kids get into a fight, or one of them gets stabbed or shot, now their idiot fucking parents are going to be talking about suing the school because, well, I put my kid on the bus and I sent them to the school. The school shouldn't have let them leave. So now it's up to the school to be the parents and override the parents who are encouraging this behavior because it's convenient, because now you want to sue. It's too much of a liability. Just expel them. Expel them. And if you have too much of a problem with teachers that are promoting this behavior, fire them. And if you have to close down the school and start up charter schools and make them smaller, then you got to do what you got to do. But again, right now is not the time to just give away free alleged education. You just can't do it because, well, now nobody appreciates it. So they don't care. Do you think kids in private school are organizing walkouts? No, their parents wouldn't have it. When you're paying thousands a week for your kid to go to class, you're going to expect to get your money's worth. But at these public schools, these kids are cooked mentally anyway. It's done. You literally have a bunch of gay teachers who are activists teaching these kids to be activists for no reason at all. There's no future. There's no business. There's no money. You're just an activist to complain about everything. You're better off organizing a mass exodus and moving to a better place where you're going to be happy so you can be a part of society. But just standing around being an activist and basically protesting against nothing and not yielding any results. Right now, you see all those protests in Minnesota. People are getting killed because they want to fight the police. And guess what? ICE has not skipped a goddamn beat. They are still deporting people every single day. People are threatening to get guns, taking target practice, and nobody's shooting nothing. They're not shooting anything. They're not doing it. They're not dumb. There is no fighting against the government. If you don't like the government, there's not. This is not the movies. In the movies, there's only one government of the world. So you're stuck wherever you go. You have to fight. In this world, there's something called airports. Go get on a plane, go to another country, see if you can break their immigration laws and do whatever you want and stay there. Renounce your American citizenship. You don't have to worry about white people. You don't got to worry about Trump. You don't got to worry about ICE. Renounce your citizenship and leave. Why stay here and be unhappy for the rest of your life? Just go and take your kids who don't want to go to school, take them with you, homeschool them. And then you go protest with your kid every day, but don't do it on the school's time and the school's dime and expect the district to pay for it. These teachers have to go. These teachers are, these public school teachers, they're giving kids the wrong exact message, which is a problem. So do me a favor, like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on with another topic in 20 minutes. America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.